health is a tool that we get to use to amplify ourselves as leaders. We become more creative, we become more magnetic, we speak clearly, people want to pay us. It's just like this incredible thing just because we attune to something that we exist in all the time.
Wild Rose! Wild Rose!
Welcome to the Wild Roads with Shona Lee and myself, Paula Ivy. Today we have Samantha Nicole, an amazing guest. But before we get into the whole world of Samantha Nicole and our conversations on how we don't do stuff normal, we're going to start with hashtag awkward question time. So Sam, we often ask a question at the beginning. Sam's ready already.
So just like, oh my gosh, you did not tell me about this.
This is something fun we like to do to break the ice. So we just like to ask a question, have a bit of fun before we jump into the conversation. So Sam, our question to you is, we thought it would be fun to ask a fitness style question.
Ooh, okay.
Because you're the fitness professional. Shona and I are not. But this is a question that I always love to find out about trainers and people who love the fitness. What is your least favorite move to do? But you know it's really good, but you really don't like it.
So I really hate cycling, like spin classes.
Oh yeah.
They like, even talking about it, I'm like, my throat's just like closing up because I hate the idea of being trapped in a small room that's dark with really loud music and people are right next to you aggressively pedaling on this metal piece of equipment.
Oh.
And then there's an instructor shouting at you to pedal up a hill that doesn't exist. And then they're also dancing at the same time. And I'm like, I have too many cocktails of emotions right now. I don't know how I feel. I think I'm angry. My legs are burning. I want out, but I can't because I'm strapped into this thing. Like, I can't leave.
Oh.
I've never done a spin class.
Me either.
I've always been like, no. But the way you've described it, like, literally sounds like hell. It's like, no. Why do people even enjoy that?
It's that like bike sound, that sound of everybody pedaling. Wow. You can't even get off of the bike because if you try to walk by somebody, there's two people pedaling. You can't squeeze in between them.
You're trapped.
And you're trapped. And then everybody in there has a very specific mindset. They're like determined this is their class. Like they're in it to win it. And if you go in there half-assed, like not really in the mood to be there, you feel like the odd man out because you are.
Like, wow. I would be the odd man out. I remember doing like I did PT, so I was like really interested in just like doing sort of weights, strengthening that way and less cardio. But man, my trainer would put me on the bike to warm up for 5 minutes. I was just dying. 5 minutes.
No imaginary heels?
It's like hit. Oh, no imaginary heels. It's just like that real 30 seconds, 10 seconds break. 30 seconds, 10 seconds break. For 5 minutes. And I was just like, okay, class done. But I had an hour to go. Far out. I don't know how you do it. Yeah, I'm with you.
No, none of that. Legs burning, hearts burning, like wondering, questioning life, like why am I here? No.
Yeah. Is not even living? Like, what's the point? No, it does. I didn't realize that it was like once you're in, like you need to like.
That's commitment.
Yeah. And like in most classes, you think, okay, let me stand at the back of the room. If you get onto the bike at the back of the room, you are trapping yourself. Like you want to get to the bike that's closest to the door. Because otherwise you're gonna have to, if you're like in the back of corner, you have to walk in front of the classroom, in front of the instructors. And I've been a group exercise instructor for like 7 years, so that was my world for a while. And you will have the instructors that will call you out. Where are you going? Oh, you're just gonna leave? And it's just like, yep. I'm out of here.
Yeah, I'm done. Thanks.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, it's so crazy.
Oh,
Wow.
so is yours the bike as well, Sean, or do you have another
Oh,
one you do not like?
No, I really, really detest burpees. I
Yeah, that's
can't
mine.
stand them. They make me feel sick, and my jumps just get like barely a heel off the ground. It's like
They're just like
yeah, tiny jumps. Oh my god, I can't. I just yuck. But you know what? I did when we were in lockdown last couple of times, I was doing training with my brother. He lives on the other side of the country, and he was like, we're just getting on Zoom and we're just like, okay, we're going to motivate each other. And he set up the programs. He's pretty good at that. Like, he's not professional, but we're just like, okay, we're just going to do this for 40 minutes. And anyway, he always, I shouldn't have told him that I don't like burpees, because he put them in every single time. Every single time. And I was just like, I can't deal. And you know what? He'd be going and I'd be just like, jump, watching him jump. I'd be looking at the camera and he'd be like thinking I'm just like a little jump. I'm not going down the other part. I cheated.
Yeah, I don't like the burpees either. No, it's the like I'm more
I think it's the legs.
I love resistance. I love doing anything to do with like stretching, and I like weights, and I love the kettlebell and all of that sort of stuff. But too much cardio. I've never been into cardio, but I've always been large chested. So, I mean, I've had 2 kids now. They're not as big as what they used to be, but I like running and jumping and stuff for me. Just like, no, it hurts. And I feel like I have to wear 3 sports bras in order to be able to do it.
Hold the girls down.
Yeah. I'm like, that's not the vibe. So we just won't.
Oh, funny.
Oh, I love that. So, Sam, for everybody listening, give us a brief insight into what you do in this world, because I absolutely adore and love and obsess over the work that you do, because it's amazing.
Oh, thank you. I love hearing that, because as much as I love talking, I always wonder, I'm like, but do people get it? Do people get what I'm saying? You know, and it's just I think that's the vibe of the entrepreneur. We always question, is our voice being heard, or are we speaking clearly enough? You know,
Definitely.
But yeah, my whole thing, it took me a while to figure out exactly what I do. And I think that that's part of my own curiosity, if what I say makes sense, because when I started my journey as a health coach, it was being just a fitness coach. I was a fitness coach. I went to school as an engineer, and I decided that I didn't like that side of the school. It was very boring, and I could do it, but I don't want to. So I ended up transitioning and going into kinesiology, which I didn't know what that was at the time. And most people, when they look at me, they're like, oh, you played sports, right? When you grew up, like what sport did you play? And I was like, I played the viola. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. And so I had zero relationship with movement and exercise, other than just naturally being an active kid. And I found myself falling in love with how the body works. Like, I genuinely fell in love with how the body works, because when you learn the science of something that you exist in all the time, it's like, oh, so that's why my pain when I eat something that hurts. Like, that's why. The why got me. Like, the why got me. And I was like, I am built this way without me ever even trying. Like, this is just how I was born this way, right? And so, like, stepping into this awareness, like, oh my gosh, like, not only am I aware of this, but I can do something with it, right? Like, I can do something with it. So I loved it so much. I got involved with group exercise. I got involved with research laboratories on campus. I got involved with even going as far as getting my master's degree, which led me to teaching undergraduate students at one point. And I saw all the spectrum of fitness. all of what the body's capable of doing. And in the world of exercise physiology, which is what I got my master's degree in, exercise physiology is like, physiology is knowing the body, right? Like, what does each body part do? But exercise physiology is, what is the impact of exercise on that physiology? Meaning, how can exercise change how your physiology works? Or how does your physiology affect your ability to exercise? Right?
Wow.
And so it just like cracked open this entire like door, this whole experience of just like, whoa. And I can look at this as like me on the spin bike, right? I can look at this as like intentional exercise, or I can go as far as just saying like, me doing what Paula's doing, jumping into cold water, like what is the physiological response to that? That is the study of the body. And when you learn your lungs and how they work, you can sustain an extreme event like that, but it brings you to a whole space of enlightenment. And so when I discovered that there's like a connection between the body and how I feel, it was just an observation, right? But I graduated college and went to go train at a very high-end gym. And I met all of these really empowered people. I mean, because it was an expensive gym to train at, it came with high-profile people. And these are people who are on top of their game, but they're sitting in the chair looking at me saying, hey, you know, I really want to change my body. I don't know how, I don't know what to do. Can you help me? And it was like, you need my help? Like, you're already amazing. And they're like, but I'm not motivated. I'm like, but you're motivated to make a lot of money. You're motivated to do all the, like, it's, you have motivation in you. It's just this area in your life that you haven't mastered yet. And I started noticing that these people are like, all right, I'm ready to make my body better, to become physically attractive, make me hot. And I was like, okay, let's do it.
Wow.
But these very powerful people who already had an incredible nature within them went through their fitness journey to uncover that the confidence they were looking for, the body that they wanted to physiologically develop, was something that they had to get in touch with who they were in order to access that next level of themselves. So the body that looked good, that was physically attractive, was actually an energetic experience of learning how to be someone that showed up on time, learning how to be someone that pushed really hard when I asked them to, learning how to go out and do things on their own and find their self-motivation. That version of themselves was what made them energetically attractive. And as a byproduct, their body responded to become physically attractive as well. And so I was sitting there just like, I was like, oh my gosh, all of the pieces are coming together. And it's not just like, oh yeah, I went for a run and I feel good. It was, I know physiologically what's happening. I know what the heart is doing. I know what the cells are doing. I know what is going on. But I can now even explain in terms of spirituality and my identity and the energy I'm feeling. I can talk about how that translates into me being a leader. And so along my journey, this is where it was just like, how do I share with people all of this? Because I've seen so many women, including myself. My journey was, I was an overperformer, overperforming, giving, serving, giving, serving, giving, serving. Yet we have this tool that we could use, which is health, to accentuate the identity that's already within us. And it turns out that health is a tool that we get to use to amplify ourselves as leaders. We become more creative, we become more magnetic, we speak clearly, people want to pay us. It's just like this incredible thing just because we attune to something that we exist in all the time.
Yes. Oh,
is anybody else tearing? Because I am just like, wow.
See, this is why I'm obsessed. Like that, just it. I guess for me, being like probably like most of the people in the world, is like, I want to be fit and healthy, but like what you said, like I don't feel like I have the natural motivation to every day like go out there and do it, or like, commit to, I've joined to gyms in the past and I'll go for like a week or two and then I'd start to not go and make excuses and all these things. But listening to you talk about this as it's an amplification of who I am, like that gets me motivated and juiced to be like, yeah, this is like
like that right there, that every leader should feel that way about their health. Because we don't take care of it until it's already broken. And the thing is we've been showcased health, fitness, food, all of these things. We've been showcased it as something that gets us a specific outcome that's external. But it's like, for me to actively choose a healthy food over a not so healthy one requires self-awareness. It requires me to slow down. It requires me to care enough about myself. It requires so many parts of me that is also required in my business, that it's like, if I'm hitting upper limits in my business, there's a part of my character I'm not tapping into, and I can go learn what that is if I go look at how I'm taking care of myself and my body.
Yeah, I just got goosebumps.
I love it.
It is. And I really do. Oh, I really do love that. Oh, what's the word I'm looking for? Like the mirroring of that, or like like how you show up. And this is what, okay, so I got Samantha to come and do a talk inside of my Selfie Queens course, which is about taking selfies. And I was like, because so much about seeing yourself is a big thing for a lot of people, especially women, because we're so conditioned around how we should look and how we should be. And you're right, it's a very external thing. So we then embark on, health and fitness for an external reason. And I love how you are, no, it's an internal, internal thing, because that is actually where the motivation and the drive and the understanding and that mindset around this is not just about how I'm going to look externally. This is like who I am as a person, and turning that up, and that whole how my body will look on the outside gets to be an amplification of what's inside, rather than I get the body and then the inside comes. Which is what we're all led to believe.
That's right.
That it's understanding the body you want is the byproduct of your internal transformation. But we say, I want the six-pack, and it's like, you don't even know why you want that. Who told you that? Are you willing to do what it takes to get a six-pack? Do you understand what that requires? Do you understand how long it might take if you want to go the easier route where it's not so intense all the time? It's going to take some years. Are you willing to hold all of that? And then people are like, well, no, I want it now. And it's like, oh, well, you definitely are out of tune as to why you think you want that. Because if you knew why you really wanted it, it was maybe the six-pack represents discipline to you, or maybe the six-pack represents you have fully embraced health, then you would be willing to go the long run or the long term. But we just say it just because that's the first thing that comes to our mind, and that's all conditioning. It's all conditioning. Like, seriously, when I think of Paula, I think of cartwheels. You know what I'm saying? And it's like that is the most playful thing. That is exercise. That's movement. That's expression. Fitness, health, food, sleep, all of the meditations, all of that should be the same thing. It should all be the same thing. And when we look at it like that, it completely, you hear health advice differently, because you realize I can choose this for me, but it's going to overflow into more than just my body, because the body has a finite amount of growth basically that we can take from it, right? It's like, once you get the six-pack, you have it. It's like saying, I want $100. It's like, once you have the $100, it's like, then what? Like there's like a moreness that's tends to exist. So you can't just say, I want the six pack, because once you get it, then what? But when you look at health and fitness as something that, really extends, it evolves, it includes you in the experience. It's something that you fall in love with. It's a relationship that can grow. That's when the whole game changes. That's when the whole game changes.
Everything is just so connected. Everything. And that's what I love. I'm a bit of a physiology nerd, to be honest, but you wouldn't know it, being a little bit unfit that I am right now. But you're totally motivating me, sister. You're totally, I'm up there. But it's like everything is so interconnected that I feel like the energetic movement, bringing that vitality back to our vessel, but also how we are expressing ourselves online, especially, and how we're growing with vitality, as in aging, but as we're growing with our mindset, let's the vitality to come along with, and I feel like this, I love how you're explaining this, that it is the whole package, because you can be really motivated and disciplined in mindset to show up, to put your message out there, to go to meetings, to facilitate programs. But there is a little missing link, isn't there? Like, as far as in this whole, I'm like putting my hands all over my vessel right now just to explain it, but your vessel, that is the missing link. If that's not operating at a certain caliber, if it's dragging your bones, you can't sustain the rest. And I think this is a 100%. Really important message. I love how you said, in one of your posts I did read, I admire the ones who take their time to choose to infuse health into their leadership. That just went bang right on me. That was just like, I'm only half leading.
Yeah. It was like, like a slap upside the head, but in a really good way. Like, I mean that in the best way possible. It's kind of like, oh yeah.
Yeah. I that post really, I'm so happy that resonated with you ladies, like that, because to commit to the health journey it's not, okay, 12 weeks. Okay, 12 weeks. I'm gonna do this thing for 12 weeks. And then if I can just ride to it's not a temporary decision. This to me is like the same as someone's like, if I just get married, then I'll get it all together. Like, it's like, no. Yeah. It's like, no. When you say yes to your health journey, you are about to unlock the potential of so much power within you. You want to be present when you make that decision. That is like the moment where you're just like, okay, here I go. And to rush that and to make that be a quick solution for you, a quick temporary thing that you're just going to jump into really quick. It's like, no. It's not health. That's actually unhealthy. And people wonder why they don't have the motivation for health. It's because they've been making all of their decisions about health in an unhealthy way. So it's recognizing that health is not just, what are you doing? It's not like, are you working out enough? Are you eating clean enough? Are you sleeping enough? It's not, that is really not the nature of health. Health is like, I hate when people say, who are you being, just because it's been overplayed just enough to where you kind of lose the meaning. But it's really like, how are you feeling and who are you being when you make that healthy decision?
That's so important, because so many times we make those decisions because we're scared, or we're like, if I don't lose the weight, or if I don't clean up my diet, this is going to happen, or I've already started to show these kinds of symptoms, or this has already begun, and if I don't fix it, then like this is the path I'm going down. So that's so true. It's not coming from a place of empowerment and like, I want to amplify who I am and really step into my own power and more of who I am, versus I'm going to do this because I'm fearful of what would happen if I don't.
Absolutely. And that's why we can't stick to anything, because we're not the ones choosing. The circumstance is choosing for us. We're like, I don't want this to happen, so I'll let it decide that I'm going to go this path. And it's like, no, you get to choose. You can choose when you start your fitness. We would like it to be sooner rather than later. But if you can't hold the idea of showing up even 3 times a week to working out, because maybe you have a newborn, maybe you just started your business, maybe you don't have enough money, and the panic about the money, your mind's so consumed, you can't hold the energy of something new. It's not your time. Go take care of the problem that you have on your plate.
Yeah.
It'll be here for you when you're ready. But you want to be ready when you start, is the key thing, is you want to be ready.
Yeah. And I love what you said before about, like, when you think of me, you think of cartwheels. That actually has been a big mindset shift for me around exercising and like really taking care of my body. Because to me, I always had this mentality of like, oh, it doesn't count unless I'm actually doing like an exercise class. It doesn't count unless I've like, played on the app, or I've gone into a class or whatever it is. It doesn't count. Like, that's when I'm doing exercise. And I thought I wasn't doing exercise if I wasn't doing that. I have 2 kids. You can probably hear them in the background. They're like playing behind the door. I'm terribly sorry. My son keeps coming in. So weird noises, we already know on our podcast. That's my children. But it happens. Here's the thing, right? And we live in a house that has 3 flights of stairs. Like, I am constantly moving and moving my body. And I think letting go of the perfect, like, I love doing classes. I love weights. I love especially like kettlebells and all of those sorts of things. And I love doing those things. But in a perfect world, I would have, time in the morning to be able to bust out a workout that felt really great and all those things. And everything else is just a bonus on top of that. But really shifting my mindset of like, when I take the kids down to the beach and we run around for half an hour, like, that counts. Doing cartwheels and handstands with my kids, that counts, running up and down the stairs 50 times in a day because I'm constantly going to different levels to do different things, that counts. And taking the pressure off having it to look a certain way. And I mean, I love to swim as well. And like actually going and being like, I swam today, like, that also counts. Like,
oh my gosh,
that's
so good.
It seems like, well, yeah, of course, but that wasn't the mentality. Like, in my own mind, it was like, well, I haven't done my workout today, so I feel bad about myself, when in reality, like, I'm actually quite an active person as it is. But just really, I guess I'd love to hear more about like the mindset behind that from your perspective as well, Sam, because that was like a big one for me. And that's only been like recently that sort of dropped for me.
I'm so happy you caught that revelation, because again, our thoughts will create an unhealthy body.
Yeah.
Like, to the point to where we don't even want to be in our own body, because the things we say to ourselves about what we shouldn't do and how terrible we are and what we're not taking care of in our lives and all those things, it makes us feel unsafe being with ourselves. So the fact that you let that go and took the pressure off of yourself, you are one step closer to health. Actually, no, you've added one more layer of health to your life. I like that better.
Oh, I like that better too.
Yes, you have added that piece into your box. And my opinion on that is that the fact that you can stand on your hands, that puts you in such a higher category than most people when it comes to their abilities and movement. That is strength.
Awesome.
People have to train for that. But secondly, you have the energy, the play behind it. You have the healthy life perspective behind it. You have the youthfulness behind it. That is a replenishing energy. And if you had that, but then right after you did a cartwheel, you're like, but that wasn't enough, or, but I should be blah, 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 blah. That's where the problem is. It's not the fact that what you did was what you did. It's you did what you did and let that be enough. Now, the only issue that it'll ever actually be a problem with whether it or not it's enough is if in your heart you have a desire for more.
Yeah.
That's when we have to check in with ourselves and say, okay, am I copping out by saying cartwheels is enough when I know deep down in my soul, I want, not I need, not I should, but I want to have something more than this? If you search your body and you're like, nope, this is cool, I'm chill, I'm good with this, I'm happy, go cartwheel, go swim, go live your life, you're done. You made it. And when the desire comes, it'll let you know. But up until that point, enjoy what you're doing now. But if you know in your heart, you're like, no, I really want to be stronger. I want to feel more powerful in my lungs. Like I've had clients come to me who have had like cardiovascular issues and they want to get their heart stronger for health reasons. Or maybe you just want to see yourself be able to lift your kids, or you want to be I've had a woman come to me who wants to be light enough for her husband to be able to pick up. It's just like, there's so many different reasons, but you have to be, again, self-aware to know your why. And if there is a more that you desire, then the cartwheels are good, but they're not the full distance.
I love that. It's so true. Yeah, because I do feel that. I do feel like, and this was actually something interesting that I learned. I'm not a human design expert by any means, but I have been diving more into my human design and being a generator and there's like a satisfaction level, so to speak. Like when you lie your head down on the pillow at nighttime, like being a generator energy, you're supposed to just be out like a light because you're like, yes, I dispelled my energy today in a way that felt really good and really nourishing, and having trouble getting to sleep. And that was a thing for me. I'd never had trouble getting to sleep. And then I went through this phase where I was, and I'm like, what is this? And then just incorporating more exercise really helped with that. And it's so true about the wanting it versus the shoulding it. Because when I should myself into it, I feel like exhausted at the end, and I'm just like, ugh.
Yes.
Whereas if I'm needing it, I feel like $1,000,000 afterwards. It doesn't matter how hard or how many burpees I had to do, and I did them anyway. Like I feel like, I needed that, as opposed to like, I think that's one of the things with that relationship, especially to fitness and also to food too. Like you should yourself into, I should be doing this kind of exercise because that's what that person does and that's how they look like. And I should be eating this food because that's what that person says they eat, and that's what they look like, and that's what I should look like, and that's what I should do. And when you do that, you're right, it's very much a mindset thing. Like if you eat something because you think you should, it has a very different energy going through your body and in through your body than what your body going, I need this, and you like giving your body what it's desiring.
Absolutely.
And whether you are like, whether it's like, you're eating a food where you're like, well, I should eat this, it's kind of gross, I don't really like it, but I will because it's good for me. Like that's not going to do amazing things for your body as much as like, oh, my body's really wanting me to eat this, and it's saying like, I really want you to eat this right now. It might not be my favorite food, but if I feel that desire within me to eat it, like oranges are a classic example for me. Like I'm not a huge fan of the orange. I know they're like, they can be like, I'm a fruit person, but oranges for me are not like the fruit that I go for. But sometimes I have this real desire to eat an orange. And I'm like, really? I'd rather eat like a banana or some pineapple or like any other fruit really, but an orange, but I'll eat it. And it's kind of like the taste of it hasn't changed, but it satisfies my body in a way that I'm like, that was really good. Even though I don't particularly love an orange, to me, they're kind of like, they're all right. But like
different days. I love that.
So the mindset or the way that we relate to things and how we bring them into our body and the energy that we have when we do them is so important.
Yeah,
it really makes you really listen and be self-aware of your own body as well, and listening and being in tune with that, because it's really easy, like your body was telling you needed an orange or vitamin C or whatever it needed in that moment, and being really self-aware. My kids are the same. They know when they need some salad, they'll go make salad. They feel the same. But I think for some of us it's difficult to be in tune, and we don't really know how to be in tune. And I wonder whether it's just once you begin this journey and really not take away where you feel like punishing yourself for taking away perhaps some foods that aren't so good for you that you like, or some lifestyle, making those lifestyle changes and doing it in a way that it's not punishment, that it's not like you feeling sorry for yourself. Doing it in a way that it's like, okay, I'm adding all these supplements in to make myself healthier, but some things I've got to let go. Some things I need to let go of these for this to all start to happen. And then I wonder, once you begin that journey, whether that is when you start to feel and hear the messages from your body of what it needs. Is that, what do you think?
So what I've found with that, I love that you're asking this question, that you guys are talking about this, because what I've noticed is, how do I want to say this? It's like, it's trusting that bad foods have the name bad for a reason.
Yeah.
And trusting that good foods have the name good for a reason. We put so much restriction on ourselves, we never get to basically put our hands in the fire to learn that it's hot. So what we'll do is we will decide that we only need to eat boiled chicken, and we only need to eat broccoli, and we only need to eat this, and we eat it. It's a healthy food that does do really awesome things for you, but because we're so salty about the fact that this is all we get to eat when we really wanted the Cheez-Its, right? It's like, it's like the anger is more present than being able to notice that it's a good food. It does leave me more energy afterwards. I'm not lethargic like I am after the Cheez-Its. So by the time I get to the Cheez-Its, I'm already full from the broccoli and the chicken, but I'm going to eat the Cheez-Its because I want the flavor, and I'm shoveling Cheez-Its. And now I'm sitting there just in pain, angry, upset, full, bloated, and now I can't poop. And so it's like, so now I'm sitting here just really upset. But the truth of the matter is if I ate poorly for long enough, or I binged ate and let myself be in a negative pattern, quote unquote, eventually I would get to the point where I'd say, I can't take this anymore. I want to eat healthy. I want to eat healthy. I want to feel better. Eventually I would get to that point. But what we do is we'll try to regulate ourselves, and we can never hear our intuition because the dictator voice is louder than the intuitive one. And so we'll take actions out of hatred or frustration, and the inner child is all upset and crying because she's not really getting what she wants. And so now we're all just discombobulated. We can't hear anything. But what if we had a week where we ate whatever we wanted, whatever we felt right to eat in the moment, whatever felt good? Maybe it's oranges, maybe it's cookies. The cookies will catch up to me. Eventually I'll say, I can't eat another cookie. This hurts. I feel dry. I'm dehydrated. I'm sleeping way too much. I've got things to do. I've got people to talk to, places to be, right? The cookies are really taking its toll. Now, because I've run up into the outer edge, the upper limit of what cookies really offer me, I've learned it from experience. So I get to be the one that makes a decision that maybe I should limit that, versus me reading about it or me seeing in a magazine that you shouldn't have any sugar, right? I'm feeling the body change I'm looking for. I'm actually feeling it in my body. My body's the one telling me, not other people. So now I get to develop my intuitive voice through experience. And then I go and eat something really healthy and realize I didn't crash like I did with the cookies. Now I put 2 and 2 together, even though in my logical mind I already knew, but now my body knows. So now all of me is caught up. So my standard rises because I don't want to experience the things that made me feel bad because I'm too busy to feel bad. I have too many things on my plate. I strive for greatness and evolution. Like I want more. It's trusting that eventually you'll get sick of the things that make you feel bad, but we're designed to be in alignment for feeling good.
Yeah.
Our physiology works with healthy foods because they're the most congruent for ease, flow, abundance, love, joy, all of it. They're the most congruent, but our relationship with it is what's estranged. So we need to play with all of it. And I love giving people the space to just do whatever you want. It's like, can you actually trust your kids that if you gave them an actual full week to just do whatever they want, that they would learn a little bit more than they would if we just told them what to do and what not to do, right?
Absolutely.
It's a level of trust. And that's what I would say with that intuitive voice is it's really letting yourself go down the path you've been trying to avoid. Maybe you're a binge eater. I know I've had many seasons of that. I can open a whole Pandora's box about how that's emotionally attached, and there's things that are trying to be revealed to you, but that's a whole nother conversation. Like, let yourself binge eat. One of my clients, we just said, do it. Let's go do it. She ate and ate and ate and ate. She had those moments. And then at the end, she hit that point where she was like, I don't want this anymore. And after I've known her for years, she was a friend first, and then we coached together. This is the first time I've seen her free of food out of knowing her for over 7 years.
Wow.
It's just trusting the universal laws that are already in place. There's a reason this is in alignment with health. That's really what I would say about that.
I love that. I feel like I know my diet has definitely changed in the last 3 years. We have a house full of teenagers. We blended our family together, and it's like everyone's different with what they will eat. So it's kind of like I don't want to cook 5 meals and stuff. So my diet has changed, but I'm just crave easy, clean, healthy eating. Like I'm starting to feel it now. I'm starting to feel inflammation in my body. I can feel it, and I've got arthritis in my spine. I can feel inflammation on my face, and I know it's that time. And it's so funny how the universe works and the timing of this conversation, because I've been feeling it for a couple of weeks. It's like, oh my God, girl, it's time. Go back to your old ways. Go back to that healthy, beautiful eating that your body knows. It feels strong. Your mind's strong when my body is strong, you know. It's a turning point. So that was perfect timing for me.
I'm so happy for you. Oh, this is going to be good. And what my favorite part now, because I specialize in making sure I correlate women's physical growth with their business growth. Like, Shona, when you do this, girl, seriously, you are going to hit some type of breakthrough with your business. I don't know what it is, but that decision, that decisiveness, that I'm choosing me, even despite the difficulty of trying to manage that, all of the pieces that are involved with that, girl, there's going to be an up-leveling and oh my gosh, I cannot wait to hear what it is. That's so exciting.
That's exciting. I love that. That's exciting.
Yeah.
It's definitely the missing piece of the puzzle for sure.
Yes.
Yeah, I love that. Because ultimately our businesses are a growth and evolution of who we are. And when we bring the health into that's like the amplification. I absolutely loved this conversation, Sam.
It's been amazing.
It's like, I can't believe an hour has passed. Like, what in the world?
I know. I was just like, we could dive into so many more like parts and pieces of this, and we would love to have you on again so we can talk more in depth about some of the other parts of this. But it's just, oh my gosh, what is one thing that you want to tell tell us before we finish this up? I'm going to leave it up to you because I have so many questions running around in my head right now. But I would love for you to just share one more piece before we jump off today, because this conversation has been absolutely so powerful and so incredible in so many ways.
I'm so excited. Okay, so this just came. I did a Facebook Live in my private Facebook group right before this call. And ironically, Shona, it was literally about what you're talking about, trying to manage your own health while juggling a family who might have some other opinions. It's crazy that you said that. In that live, I said something that encapsulates everything I'm trying to say. And it is that health is not hard. Health is not hard, meaning health should be easy. Like, health is eat the food, do the workout, go to sleep. Like, that's health in the fitness scientific world. But health is not hard also means when you feel like things are hard, you are not operating in health. When you experience something that feels hard, step back, take a step back. You've overcommitted, you've gone too far. And one of the things I always push in my world is that the second you feel overwhelmed, you've gone too far. Never commit from a place of overwhelm, ever. So health means that you figure out what is the next amount of things that you want to achieve that you can hold. And like I said, if you are overwhelmed with your business, if you're overwhelmed with your family, if you're overwhelmed with just getting the laundry done, you should not add health or fitness. Let me rephrase, fitness on top of that. You should not add changing your eating patterns on top of that. That would be awesome and ideal, but you want to focus with what you currently have. That is your sweet spot. You currently deal with what you're holding. But when you find even like a little small amount of energy that you can put towards your fitness, towards your food, towards your stress, only pick up as much of this entire world that is in health, pick up just as much as you can hold, because the second it breaks the camel's back, you're over. Yeah. And it's not supposed to feel that way. It's not. This is supposed to be fun. This is supposed to be your access point to joy. This is supposed to be your access point to ease. Like, let it be easy. Health is not hard. And when we embody that, we get to be the attractive, healthy leaders that I know we're supposed to be. So that's what I want to say.
Boom. That was awesome. Oh my gosh.
Woman.
That was amazing. Okay, Sam, where can people find you out on the socials and on the internet?
Yes. So Samantha Nicole apparently is not the easiest name to find on Facebook. So the Active and Attractive Community is the easiest way to find me. You just answer the questions to join, I'll add you in, and then you can find Samantha Nicole to find my Facebook that way. I also have Instagram. So Instagram at Active Attractive. I've been a lot more active on there, sharing stories and everything. That's been so much fun. So, I want women to come and engage with me there. The thing about the Facebook group is my intention is to make that like a whole resource center. So the same things that you would go to Google to ask, I want you to be able to find the same answers, but in my language and the Active and Attractive community. So I push question culture, which is to ask questions so that you can get unstuck to move into the next step with your health. So whether it's leadership, emotions, energetics, fitness, whatever it is, we're going to answer the question that's on your heart in the moment. And then you get a video where I go live on Facebook twice a week and we get the interaction. It's been so much fun. It's been so much fun to build the community that way. And women are really starting to take it up a notch. And I love seeing that.
I joined this morning.
You did?
I've been in for a while. I love it. It's such a great group. It's amazing.
I will put all of your details, Sam, in the show links as well. So if you've missed that, it'll be there. So, thank you so much.
So much fun, ladies.
That was so good. Oh my God.
You guys, we went into the stratosphere. I was hearing myself like, oh my God, that's good. Oh my God. You ladies pulled that out of me. I love that.
Wild Rose! Wild Rose!
Wild Rose.